सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै. So from today onwards, for the next 7 days, we'll be dealing with the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gītā, namely Daivasura sampat vibhaga yoga. Daiva asura sampat vibhaga yoga. The yoga of the division between daivi sampat and āsuri sampat. Daivi sampat means divine virtues, the noble virtues. Sampat means wealth, so divine wealth. The yoga of the division between divine wealth and āsuri sampat, the demonic wealth. To put in simple words, the division between divine virtues and the demonic, devilish, evil vices. So what is the central message of this chapter? The central message of this chapter is given in verse number 5, where Bhagavan says, Daivi sampat vimokshaya nibandhaya āsuri mata. The divine virtues, the noble virtues liberate a person, whereas the demonic vices, they bind a person. So therefore, what is the message of this chapter? The message of this chapter is cultivate noble virtues. The purpose of life is liberation. The purpose of life is to know one's own true self. One's own true self, which is immortal, which is infinite, which is divine. This is the purpose of life. In order to gain this highest knowledge about the self, the mind has to be prepared. And what is the preparation needed for the mind? The mind should be rich with noble virtues. So therefore, we must cultivate these noble virtues, and at the same time, we must put forth effort to remove all the negativities of the mind, the demonic vices of the mind. So this is the essence of this chapter. So naturally the question comes, what are the divine virtues which we must cultivate in ourselves? So there is a list of virtues given, which we have to practice and make it ours. What are the vices which we must eradicate from our personality? That is also given in this chapter in detail. So this is the thought flow of this chapter. Now here, these virtues and vices both are termed as sampat. Daiva, āsura, sampat. Sampat means what? Sampat means wealth. Now how do you define wealth? Wealth is that which we earn, putting forth all our effort, investing our time, our energy, our talents. We pour out our energy, talents, time, etc. We spend our time in order to gain this wealth. Why do we gain this wealth? Why do we desire wealth? We desire wealth because it contributes to our happiness, isn't it? Why do we struggle to earn wealth? Because it makes us happy. It fulfills our needs. So sampat is that which you earn working hard because it contributes to your happiness. So here Bhagavan says there is a wealth which normally people don't know. And what is that wealth? The daivi sampat. What is the sampat which we are aware of? The sampat which we are aware of is material wealth, the worldly wealth. Now Bhagavan says there is one more wealth which is called as spiritual wealth. In this world there are two types of wealth. What are they? The material wealth and the spiritual wealth. Very many times we don't know the importance of spiritual wealth, and therefore we don't put forth our efforts to gain them. We are very much clear about the need of the material wealth. The importance of material wealth we all know very much. And because we know its importance, we pour out our life itself to gain it. 99% of the people you will find, the whole life is spent only in earning material wealth. The law of life is simple. Whatever you value, you will have time for it. So why do people spend their entire life spending only for material wealth? They spend their life because they value it. They don't spend any time for spiritual wealth because they don't know its importance. So now first of all we have to have a clear understanding, a comparative study between the material wealth and the spiritual wealth. On superficial analysis, a common man tends to believe that material wealth is everything. It is natural. Why is it natural? A person who is rich materially, all the best things of the world, he will get it. Yes or no? They are on the tip, on his fingertips, we can say. The best things, the comfort, the conveniences, whatever best is provided by the world, you can get it by paying. There is a price for it, and a rich person is able to pay it. Therefore, the best comforts and conveniences and luxuries are his. Moreover, a person who is rich is considered smart, is considered intelligent, is considered successful. Such a person commands respect in the society. Everything comes along with wealth, isn't it? A rich person is not only able to buy things, he is able to buy people also. He is respected everywhere. He has influence. He has power. He is considered secure in the society. So when everything comes along with this one thing called wealth, so natural tendency will be to invest all our energy and time and resources and talents in order to gain this wealth. Because if this thing you have everything. This is the way in which a common man analyzes life and situation, and this is how he values material wealth. But now, on deeper analysis, is it true that material wealth can really fulfill our life? Can it give us fulfillment? When you start analyzing in depth, you will find that material wealth cannot really make us happy. Why it can't make us happy? There are so many factors which we desire in life, and all these factors cannot be purchased by wealth. What are the factors? Number one, peace of mind. Can you purchase peace of mind? We can purchase comforts, but can you purchase peace? No. Peace is something which you really need. You can't purchase it. You can purchase relationship, but can you purchase love? Relationships you can buy, but what about love? You can't. You can purchase a bed, but can you purchase sleep? You can have guards and guns, but can you buy courage? Can you buy fearlessness? Can you buy confidence? You can purchase food, but can you buy health? You can purchase medicines, but can you buy life? You can purchase books, but can you buy knowledge? You can purchase clothes, but can you buy a charming, cheerful, attractive personality? You can purchase equipments, but can you purchase skills? You can purchase possessions and positions, but can you purchase happiness? The point of discussion is only this. The thing which you really need in life, you cannot purchase it. Isn't it? There are so many things which we would love to have, but the material wealth, the laukika sampat, that cannot purchase it. For example, can you purchase an environment? No. Can you purchase your mother and father? Can you purchase your body? You can't. There are so many factors where we have not been given any choice. Body is given to you. The mind is given to you. The environment given to you. Mother-father relations given to you. You will find that material wealth can really not purchase anything except fulfilling the needs of the body. This material wealth cannot give you anything. Now, when a person hankers after material wealth, what are the drawbacks when you start earning without having right knowledge about life? This also has to be understood. Because in the society you will find a majority of the people, they are money minded. By hook or crook, I should become rich. Now the point is, what are the drawbacks which you attract towards yourself when you start earning wealth through all unrighteous means? What are the defects of being stinkingly rich? Defect number one, you cannot but feel insecure. The more wealth you earn, the more insecurity you start feeling. Why? Because everyone is after you. Why everyone is after you? You have something which they don't have. So by hook or crook, they are trying to loot it from you. So Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji in Bhaja Govindam says, Putradapi dhanabhajam bhitihi sarvatresha vihita ritihi. The rich person is afraid of his own son. The feeling of insecurity. Always they are scared. Isn't it? All these robbery etc. happens where? It doesn't happen in a poor man's house. The problem is, the moment you try to show off your riches through your jewelries etc., you are inviting danger for yourself. Because people are watching. Isn't it? All these robberies that happen, where does it happen? You try to show off your wealth, somebody has noticed it, that very same moment you are insecure. This is the number one. Now compare it with spiritual wealth. Remember, a person having spiritual wealth, is he insecure or secure? He is absolutely secure, because he has got a wealth which others cannot confiscate, which others cannot take away from him. These virtues, the noble virtues which we are going to discuss now, these are the things which others cannot take away. It is safe with him. Number two, a person who is stinkingly rich, who is only after wealth, such a person, he tends to be more and more greedy. Because the nature of wealth is, the more you aggrandize, the more you want to have. Greed is something like that. Mahatma Gandhi used to say, this world has everything to fulfill the need of each and every person, but this world is insufficient to fulfill the greed of even one person. Isn't it? So how much ever you have, the mind will never say enough. You want more and more. This is the second problem with this wealth. What about the person with spiritual wealth? He is contented even with the bare minimum. The third one, a person who is after wealth unintelligently, he tends to become arrogant. The more the money you have, the tendency is to become arrogant. Slowly that superiority complex comes. And what happens when a person becomes more and more arrogant? An egoistic person has got a stinking personality. You just don't want to remain with that person. You don't want to have any relationship with that person. But then what to do? He has got money and I need money. So therefore helplessly I have to contact him. But what kind of personality is he having? He is having a stinking, repelling personality because of his own ego. The normal tendency is, the more and more a person becomes rich, without knowledge, there is a tendency to become egoistic. This is another defect. Next one. The more and more a person becomes rich, he tends to become more and more tense, stressed, worried and anxious. This also comes along with your, wealth. Buy one, get one free. More and more wealth, more and more stress, strain, anxieties and worries. Why? Wealth has to come from the world. The world has to give wealth. And what is the nature of the world? The world is all the time uncertain. So from an uncertain source, if your wealth has to come, the wealth also will be uncertain. You are investing in some business, there is no guarantee that the business will run fine. So then what happens? In the process, you end up full of worry, tension, fear. Now what happens to his mind? The mind is filled with all kinds of psychosomatic diseases. What is this stress and strain? It is nothing but disturbance of the mind. So slowly this person becomes a psychological case. Always tensed, always worried, always disturbed. What about the spiritual person? His mind is always peaceful. Right? One more thing. The nature of this worldly wealth is such, unfortunately, at the time of death, we cannot take it along with us. Can we? The moment we die, along with the body, we have to leave our physical body also. Not only the physical body, everything what we have earned, we have to leave it here. So therefore, what is the greatest fear of a rich man? So please understand, whenever I am using this term rich man, you have to understand rich but unintelligent man. This unintelligent has to be added. What do you mean unintelligent? The one who has given money alone the highest priority, such a person is the rich unintelligent man, which we are discussing. This understanding has to be there. We are not criticizing earning wealth. But if the highest priority in your life is only to earn wealth and nothing else, then that's what we are criticizing. Now, as far as a rich person is concerned, money is his everything, but there is a situation in life where he has to depart from his hard-earned money. What is that situation? Death. And it's a sure situation. So what is the one thing which he will fear throughout his life? The one thing he will fear is the fear of death. Because that is one thing which will take away his prized possessions. Always that fear of death will be lurking at the back of his mind. What about a spiritual person? Will he be scared of death? Whatever wealth he has earned, the spiritual wealth, fortunately, that spiritual wealth also goes along with him. It is not something which he leaves back. Material wealth you have to leave, but as far as spiritual wealth is concerned, it is something which comes along with you. So therefore, is there any fear? There is absolutely no fear. Now you start comparing. Which wealth is greater? The spiritual wealth or the material wealth? The answer is very clear. But for that you have to go deeper into life's experiences. Only then you will find that spiritual wealth is the real wealth of life, nothing else. This discussion doesn't discourage us from earning wealth. Wealth has got its own place in the society. In life, it has its own place. Our needs are met with the material wealth. It is important. But that doesn't mean that that alone is the most important thing in life. So here in this chapter, Bhagavan says, Arjuna, there is a greater wealth, the so-called daivi sampat. Earn it. This is the real wealth in life, because this can give you infinite happiness. This can give you the state of immortality. This can give you everything that you really crave in life. So Arjuna, therefore, develop these virtues. So what are these virtues which we have to develop in ourselves? So now Bhagavan gives a list of virtues in the first 3 verses of the 16th chapter. So let us chant the first 3 verses. Repeat once. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Atha Shodashodhyayah. Daivasura sampat vibhaga yogaha. Shri Bhagavanuvacha. Abhayam sattva samshuddhihi. Jnana yoga vyavasthitihi. Dhanam damascha yajñascha Swadhyayastapa arjavam. Together. Abhayam sattva samshuddhihi jnana yoga vyavasthitihi Dhanam damascha yajñascha Swadhyayastapa arjavam Ahimsa satyamakrodhaha Tyagashantirapaisunam Daya bhuteshvalo luptvam Mardavam hrirachapalam Ahimsa satyamakrodhaha Tyagashantirapaisunam Daya bhuteshvalo luptvam Mardavam hrirachapalam Tejakshama dhritish shaucham Adroho nati manita Bhavanti sampadam daivim Abhijatasya bharata Tejakshama dhritish shaucham Adroho nati manita Bhavanti sampadam daivim Abhijatasya bharata. Yes. Bhavanti sampadam devim abhijatasya bharata. Arjuna, these are the virtues which you will find in a person who has daivi sampat. These are the virtues. So therefore, Bhagavan has listed in these 3 verses the divine virtues, the daivi sampat. Now what do you mean daivi sampat? Sampat means wealth. Why daivi? Daivi comes from the word deva. Deva means God. So daivi sampat means these are the virtues which are found in full measure in God. This is the nature of God. All these virtues in full measure you will find in God. Therefore it is daivi sampat, the wealth belonging to God. Daivi sampat also means those people who practice these virtues, they become like Deva. They become God-like. They also become divine, like God. Also, those people who practice these virtues, they become like God and they become God also. Because what is the essence of the scriptures? Aham Brahma Asmi. I am God. So therefore, these values are such that people who practice it, they come to know their true nature, that they are not different from the divine. So for all these reasons, the name has been aptly given Daivi Sampat, the divine virtues. Now what are they? Bhagavan has listed 26 virtues. So one by one we will now go through. What is the first one? Abhayam. What do you mean Abhayam? Fearlessness. Bhayam means fear. So Abhayam means fearlessness. This is the first one. Can we call fearlessness a virtue? Fearlessness need not be a virtue. There are very many cases where a person is fearless, but that we don't consider it as a virtue. The criminals, the robbers, the thieves, they are also fearless. Isn't it? They fearlessly commit murder. They fearlessly commit crime. Isn't it? Is it something appreciable? There are children who are fearless of their parents. Is it something good? There are students who don't fear the teachers. Is it something good? Fearlessness by itself is not a virtue. Even fear of God, there are people who don't have fear of God also. Even that is not considered as a virtue. In all these cases, it is considered as a vice. Vice means V-I-C-E. But here, the term is abhayam. So what kind of fearlessness is Bhagavan mentioning here? This has to be understood. Fearless because of what? What is that factor which makes you fearless? That is also important. Fearlessness by itself is not a virtue. What makes you fearless? Yes, that we have to analyze. So first of all, we have to analyze what is fear. What brings fear in us? What is the cause of fear? In order to have fear, two factors are necessary. What are they? Number one, the possibility of a danger. The possibility of an unpleasant situation. The possibility of a threat. This is the first factor. The possibility of a calamity. This is the first factor. And what is the second factor? There is a dangerous situation and I don't have solution to overcome that situation. There is a calamity which is going to strike me, but I don't have a solution. I don't know how to handle it. This is the second factor. When these two factors come together, the feeling which arises in our heart, that feeling of emotion is called fear. So what are the two factors? Number one, the possibility of a calamity, of a danger. And number two, I don't have solution for it. Then the feeling which rises in us is called fear. Now if you want to be fearless, you have to take care of these two aspects. Now, fearlessness can be classified into three types. The first is called tamasic fearlessness. What is this tamasic fearlessness? This person is fearless because he has not studied the situation properly. The situation is a dangerous situation, but because he was careless, because he was negligent, because he was insensitive, he is not seeing the situation as dangerous. Why? Because he doesn't have the right knowledge. He takes the situation lightly, and out of that comes a fearlessness. This is born out of stupidity, out of foolishness. This is what we have discussed about these criminals, etc. They are called tamasic fearlessness. He is not able to think of the consequences of his action and therefore he is fearless. The fearlessness born out of foolishness. All these people who drive rashly on the roads, they are fearless, no doubt, but they are foolishly fearless. Not able to think of the consequences. They do some act haphazardly, hastily, unthinkingly. This is called as tamasic fearlessness. Recently I saw one video. So somebody was taking it from his mobile phone. It was very clear. So here is this fellow who is standing on a running train. He was standing there on the, the door. So the train has just started from the station it is picking up speed. And now this youngster, he gets a fascination. What does he do? He wanted to jump into the station, holding on to the running train, run for some time and again climb back. This was his plan. The train is picking up speed. Somebody from the behind, he is taking this, this video from his mobile. And so this youngster jumps out of the train, holding on to that bar. He runs, he miscalculates the speed. He is not able to catch up with the running train, gets crushed in between that platform and the train. Now this action, how will you rate it? Will you call it abhayam? Yes, no doubt it is some kind of fearlessness, but it is a fearlessness born out of foolishness. This is not what we are talking of here now. This is called tamasic fearlessness. A fearlessness born out of wrongly understanding the dangerous situation. The second fearlessness is rajasic fearlessness. What is this fearlessness? This is a fearlessness born out of having enough means to take care of the dangerous situation. So this rajasic person has studied the situation. He knows that it is a dangerous one. It is a calamity. So what does he do? He hoards all kinds of resources which are capable of handling the situation. So if there is poverty, he has enough money. So he has manpower, he has muscle power, he has money power, all kinds of power he has so that he can handle any kind of situation with ease. So what has he taken care? He has taken care of the second factor of that fear. The first factor is a dangerous situation. The second factor is you don't have the solution. A rajasic person takes care of the solution part. And because he has got the solution to handle any crisis, he is fearless. This is the second one. This is called as rajasic fearlessness. Are we talking of this fearlessness in this case? No. Now the third one is sattvic fearlessness. This is what we are talking here. Now what is this sattvic fearlessness? This sattvic person has analyzed the situation and he has understood that it is a dangerous one. It is a calamity. Is he having any means? He is not having any means. He knows that the situation is dangerous. As far as the means are concerned, he doesn't have any means, but still he remains fearless. What can be the reason? The reason is his total, abiding, single-pointed faith in the Lord. It is this faith in the Lord. It is the trust in the Lord. It is his surrender unto the Lord which makes him fearless. We are talking of a bhakta now, a devotee. Situations are dangerous. At the same time, he doesn't have any means. Still, he remains fearless. Why? He knows my Bhagavan will take care of me. So this fearlessness, born out of trust, born out of faith, born out of surrender, born out of devotion unto the Lord, this fearlessness is what we are talking of here. I hope you are understanding. The whole world is run by my Lord. The omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent Bhagavan is running this world. Then why should I fear? Won't he take care of me? When this kind of faith a person has, even when that situation is the most dangerous one, even in such a situation, he remains calm, he remains peaceful. Because very many times situation goes out of your control. Even in such situations, you will find this devotee absolutely peaceful. What is his philosophy? My Creator will take care of me. I need not worry. This fearlessness is what we are talking of here. Swami Vivekananda, when he was supposed to go to Chicago, he did not have anything with him. Not even single paisa or single dollar. He was in the ship. Somehow the ticket was booked, that's all. He did not know where he was going to go. He was going for that World Parliament of Religions. He was going to attend it. He did not know anyone there. As far as the culture is concerned, totally unknown. Place is concerned, totally unknown. Did he have any money? Nothing. Only the ticket was booked. Swami Vivekananda went there, sat in his seat. Somebody came, saw the Swamiji sitting there, absolutely, poised, peaceful, equanimous, calm. So this gentleman went, Swamiji, may I know where you are going? Then Swamiji said, I am going to Chicago. I am going to attend the World Parliament of Religions. I represent Hindu religion. Then this gentleman said, Swamiji, you are going to Chicago? I also stay in Chicago. May I know where you are going to stay? Then Swamiji said, maybe I'll stay at your home. Now can you see that abhayam there? That fearlessness? The future is absolutely uncertain. But still here is a man who is absolutely certain. What? My Lord will take care of me. Full stop. I need not know how he is going to take care, but he will take care. I need not worry. This kind of fearlessness is what is being spoken of here. And you will find that in all devotees you will find this one thing, fearlessness. All these, sages living in the Himalayas, there are a lot of forests there, wild animals are there, snakes and tigers and lions. How do they survive there? They know one thing, Bhagavan is there, he will take care. And they are properly taken care also. They give up everything. Literally the Parivrajaka Sannyasis, the so-called. They don't have their house, nothing. They just keep walking. What is their philosophy? Simple. Bhagavan will definitely give me food. And they get their food also. See the trust. They don't store anything. Total trust in the Creator. There's a very interesting story about Muhammad. So he was being chased by a king and the army. And he was climbing a mountain along with one of his assistants, Abu Bakr. So this army was behind. They were planning to kill Muhammad. So as they were climbing the mountain, there was a small, cave. So Muhammad, he entered into this cave as though to hide there. Muhammad and Abu Bakr, both of them. So at that time, Abu Bakr, he was trembling with fear. He said, Sir, definitely they are going to pass by this way. And definitely they will search this cave also. And only we two are there. Then Muhammad said, we are not two, we are three. Abu Bakr said, who is the third one? Muhammad said, there is a third one, Allah. He will protect us. This Abu Bakr was sure that all those Allah and all will not help. Because it's very clear that this army is going to search this cave. And there is nobody there in the cave. Only these two, they will definitely be caught. A very simple cave it is. Absolutely there is no question of security there. He was trembling in fear, no faith. Whereas Muhammad was there, relaxing, total. Believe it or not, a huge spider comes and it starts spinning the web right across the mouth of the cave. And by the time this army comes, this cave was having that spider web. So this commander of the army, he said, go, search the cave. So one person, as he was about to search the cave, this commander said, stop, there is no need to search there. The very fact that this web has been untorn, kept intact, that itself shows that nobody is there inside. So we need not search. Come, let's proceed. And they proceeded. Both of them were absolutely safe. The point which I want to convey is this. When a devotee knows that there is a Bhagavan, he has been taking care of me in my past. He is taking care of me in my present. In the future also, he will take care of me. I need not worry. When this kind of faith a person has, the expression of this faith, the expression of this devotion, the expression of this surrender, what is the expression? Abhayam is the expression. So if you are a true devotee of God, you must have this virtue in you. What is the virtue? You should be a person free from worries and anxieties. If there is worries and anxieties, what does it mean? It simply means our trust in God is not strong. It is weak. A little calamity and we are shaken. Isn't it? Remember, when we are discussing these virtues, these are the virtues, we must keep this in mind. We have to cultivate it in us. If it is little, we have to make it more. This is spiritual practice. And all these virtues are something which we can cultivate, which we can grow in ourselves with right means, right methods. The second abhayam, the fearlessness, comes to a person who walks the path of righteousness. That also gives you fearlessness. At the entrance you have seen, dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. The one who is walking the path of righteousness, he will be protected by righteousness. A person who has this clear understanding about life. So even when he is walking the path of righteousness, walking the path of dharma, you will find he will be fearless. Why? I know I am doing the good thing. I know I am righteous. I know I am not compromising with the higher values of life. This very sticking to these values itself gives a kind of strength to you. This is another meaning of abhayam. You will always find people who are uncompromisingly good. Such people, you will find that they are exhibiting a kind of, a kind of fearlessness. Lot of problems come. There are a lot of temptations. There are a lot of threats, especially when you live in this world. Because majority of the people are ready to compromise for even the, even the slightest temptation, they are ready to compromise. Such people are around. To live in this world surrounded by such people, it is not so easy. Always you are threatened. So when such threatening comes, what gives you strength from within? It is this adherence to the path of righteousness which gives you truth. This is at a worldly level. Now as far as a jnani is concerned, he also exhibits abhayam. What is jnani's abhayam? A jnani knows the self is immortal. The physical body has to die, but the consciousness in me has no death. The moment you come to know that you have no death, you become absolutely fearless. Because all fear is somewhere or the other connected to the fear of death. What is the jnani's vision of the world? Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. The whole world is an illusion as far as a jnani is concerned. So where is the question of being afraid of the illusory world? As far as a jnani is concerned, other than me, nobody else is there. Whoever is there in this world, he is none other than me, myself, because the consciousness is the same. So, the fear comes from the concept of the other. Dvayat bhayam bhavati. When there is nobody other than me, whom to fear? When the world itself is illusory, why to fear? When the Supreme Self, the pure consciousness is immortal, why to fear? So, right understanding also gives you fearlessness. This is the third type of fearlessness. So, the fearlessness of a bhakta, the fearlessness of a dharmika purusha, and the fearlessness of a jnani. In short, the point is, if you are walking the path of spirituality, you have to be fearless. Rather, put in another way, as you progress in spiritual path, you automatically tend to become fearless. This is abhayam, fearlessness. As far as a sadhaka is concerned, let us have this in mind. Bhagavan is taking care of all of us, so therefore there is nothing to fear. This is the one thing which we have to cultivate in us. Abhayam, fearlessness. The next one is sattva samshuddhihi. Sattva samshuddhihi. Samshuddhi means what? Purity. Purity of what? Sattva. Sattva means mind. Antakarana is called sattva. Why is the mind named sattva? So for that we have to refer to the Tattva Bodha textbook, the basic text of Vedanta. Where does the mind come from? Those who know. The mind comes from the collective sattvic aspect of the Sukshma Pancha Mahabhuta. Those who don't understand, don't worry. Mind is born out of the collective sattvic aspect of the Sukshma Pancha Mahabhutas. Those who have studied Tattva Bodha, they know. Tattva Bodha is a text which contains all the definitions of the scriptures. It's a basic text for the beginners. All those talks are available, those who are interested. The point is this. The mind is therefore called sattva because it is born out of the sattvic aspect. So another name of mind is sattva. So sattva samshuddhi means what? The purity of mind. Sattva samshuddhi. This is another thing which we have to cultivate in ourselves. It's a divine wealth. A pure mind is a divine wealth. How do you define a pure mind? For that we should know the definition of mind. What is mind? Flow of thoughts is called mind. So therefore what is a pure mind? Flow of pure thoughts can be called as a pure mind. A mind filled with noble thoughts. A mind filled with good thoughts, elevating thoughts, positive thoughts. Such a mind is called a pure mind. What is a sign of a pure mind? A pure mind is a peaceful mind. A pure mind is a quiet mind. A pure mind is a vigilant, alert mind. A pure mind is a disciplined mind, tamed mind, contented mind, light mind. You enjoy the company of such a mind. A mind which is pure. A mind which is filled with noble thoughts. So what is the sadhana to be done here to keep the mind always pure? You can keep the mind always pure if you can keep the thoughts pure. How can you keep the thoughts pure? Whenever you face situations in life, ensure that you positively respond to the situations instead of negatively reacting to it. This is the way. Every situation demands certain response from you. Every situation demands that you should use your mind, you should use your thinking faculty. Mind is an instrument, you have to use it to handle various situations. So if you can ensure that you are generating only positive, noble, elevating thoughts while dealing with the situations, then you can be sure that the mind is always pure. And what is the proof that your mind is pure? You enjoy that state of mind. Your mind remains cheerful. So what is the proof that you have handled a situation beautifully well? The proof that you have handled a situation beautifully well is, before the situation also the mind was peaceful. After handling the situation also, the mind remains peaceful. This is the proof that you have done a good job with the situation. What is the proof that you have messed up with the situation? Earlier your mind was peaceful, but after handling the situation, the mind is totally disturbed. Why is the mind disturbed? Somewhere unknowingly, unconsciously, you have entertained some negative thoughts. And therefore the mind is disturbed. The law is very clear. If the thoughts are good, the mind is peaceful. If the thoughts are bad, the mind is disturbed. Law is very clear. As your thoughts, so will be the state of your mind. This is the law. So what are we supposed to do while handling various situations of life? Ensure that the thoughts are good and noble. This way you can ensure that the mind is pure. More of this we will see tomorrow. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhave Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.